Greene Street Joinery and the American Craftsman podcast are proud to partner with Montana Brand Tools. Montana Brand Tools are manufactured by Rocky Mountain Twist in Montana, USA. With numerous patents dating back to the invention of the hex shank system by our founders, we strive to produce accessories that add precision, flexibility, and efficiency to your toolkit. In addition to woodworking tools, we produce many high-quality cutting tools that are used by the aerospace, medical, automotive, and industrial markets. Our end product has a fit and finish that is beyond comparison. Montana Brand Tools are guaranteed for life to be free of defects in material and workmanship because we build these tools with pride and determination. For 10% off your order, visit montanabrandtools.com and use the coupon code American Craftsman. Welcome back, American Craftsman.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we call you, listeners. Here we are, episode 16.
American Craftsmanites.
Craftsmanites. I like it. Yeah, here we are talking about federal furniture.
Yeah.
I almost said empire.
No, not quite.
In another couple weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, in quite some time.
Now we're going to talk about a couple of the most influential designers and a couple of builders of federal furniture. Big three, we call them.
It's like Metallica, Megadeth, and Anthrax.
Yeah, exactly.
Or wait, no. Was it Slayer? I think it was Slayer.
They're the big four.
I guess so.
Big three. Sheraton. Hepplewhite. Phyfe.
Not Chippendale.
No. Why did I put that? One of the big three, yeah, including of the 18th century. One of the big three English furniture makers of the 18th century. We got Sheraton, Hepplewhite, and Chippendale. So those are the big names of the 1700s.
Right.
But if we get specifically to the federal period, we have to leave Chippendale behind.
Yeah, because Phyfe was, and those are English.
Yeah.
And Phyfe was.
Well, he was English, but
he was living here.
Yeah, he was a New Yorker. According to Wikipedia, there are no pieces.
I've heard a lot of arguments start like that.
According to Wikipedia, there are no pieces of furniture made directly by Hepplewhite or his firm known to exist. Yeah, so that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, he gave his name to a distinctive style of light, elegant furniture, and reproductions have continued for centuries up to this day. Well, so how can Hepplewhite have managed to have such influence? How could he be considered one of the big three furniture makers of the 18th century? You better take that call.
I have no idea who that is. They're probably calling about
your auto warranty.
Yeah. Bastards.
So how can Hepplewhite have managed to have had such influence? Well, we bring it straight back to his cabinet maker and upholsterer's guide. And luckily for him, well, I guess he's dead. So it's published posthumously by his wife in 1788. So he probably couldn't have fathomed that he would be so influential.
What was Hepplewhite's first name?
George, I believe.
George Hepplewhite.
Yeah, I believe it was George. I'm not positive, but I think it was George. As you can see, I just started calling him Hepplewhite. And let me tell you, type in Hepplewhite in and of itself was, surprisingly hard.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that name.
Yeah. And one characteristic that's seen in many of Hepplewhite's designs is a shield-shaped back chair, where an expansive shield appeared in place of a narrower splat. Now, you want to click on that link? Let's see what we got. Let's see how good my links are. There it is.
Yeah. Man, this one's zoomed way in.
That's pretty nice. Looks like it's got those straight legs. The picture doesn't Oh, doesn't show at all.
I'm trying to scroll to see the legs. I'm like, what the hell?
It's the way the photo's cropped.
Yeah.
But it looks like some pretty intricate carving in that back. I mean, it's small.
Yeah, it's almost has like a harp kind of thing going on.
I think that's the lyre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lyre is kind of more like a small harp.
Yeah, like
I was thinking of a lute.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was mistaking it for in the last episode.
I guess that inset piece, the splat, is probably carved separately and then placed into that frame. I mean,
I don't know.
That's some nice work. I mean, look at all those thin little pieces.
Yeah. They had those nice carbide tools back then.
I know.
Hepplewhite used to just throw it on the CNC.
Yeah.
And it would cut it out. He'd come back, it's done.
That looks like, we know from last episode they favored mahogany, but
certainly has that look.
Yeah, it's pretty rich.
What else we got here?
Oh, this is from his book. Yeah.
Nice sketches.
Yeah. So this is this is what comes out of the book.
High res.
I had to search quite a bit to be able to actually download some of these links because they were copyright protected.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
But I wanted to be able to show some of the actual drawings from his book.
Yeah, look at this urn with these feathers coming out of it.
Yeah, there's the famous shield-shaped back on the left.
Yeah, I ain't not digging that.
No, I don't like it either, and I don't like the way the back legs are curved and the way they relate to the front legs either.
Yeah.
London, published
1787 by I and J. Taylor, number 56, High Holborn.
This one's got some looks like little carvings in the front legs.
Yeah. I like the shape of the back of this. Not really feeling this urn splat.
No, it doesn't look very comfortable either.
No, I don't know if this is caned or what. A little too early, I think, for caning. No? No.
Caning came out.
Yeah, it was a long time before this. But
it doesn't look very well padded, does it?
No.
But he's definitely portraying some sort of texture there. Yeah. So this is what you'd get. So let's say we had our shop. This is what we'd be working from.
Yeah. And this is just broken down into sections, not dimensions.
And that top view kind of shows the curve on the sides.
That's a nice piece.
Yeah,
got a nice shape to it. Looks like you're using quarter white oak over here.
Yeah. Kind of a napkin sketch almost, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, what are these details that they're showing? These are how the drawers are divided up?
It looks like it. I mean, that's definitely showing the curve, which doesn't look like it'd be easy to make.
So this looks like it has another door inside of it.
Yeah, with a hinge top, right?
Yeah, and this is divided up maybe for, I don't know, Lipton tea bags.
There you go.
K-cups. That's where they put the K-cups.
Oh. It's a pretty... I don't think the drawings do it justice. It looks similar in design to some of the pieces we viewed last episode.
Yeah.
The the perspective and everything. Not great drawings.
I don't know. You don't think that's good?
Well, I don't know. It's all right. It's all right.
It's hard to.
I mean, there are a lot of curved surfaces to try and display. So
Yeah,
I don't want to be that critical. I mean, I couldn't draw something in perspective with all of those and display all of those radius surfaces. So it's pretty good. You don't see the back legs there.
Yeah, I think I don't know. There's something about perspective drawings that just always look weird.
Yes. Yeah, you could see he picked a vanishing point, somewhere.
Way back here.
Right there. It probably would look worse if you picked one that wasn't, centered.
Mm-hmm. You maybe could have included a couple more views.
This is a Hepplewhite made by the Seymours.
Oh, look at that.
So this is one of his designs.
I noticed this motif in the other ones with this little band around the foot.
Yeah.
Stone top?
Yeah.
I think that's epoxy.
Bite your tongue.
That's total boat.
Oh, wow. The little key to scutcheon is an urn.
Yeah, some marquetry.
Really, really nice.
The Roman OG, I feel like, is just so prevalent in this period.
Oh, yeah. The drawer face. I mean, just a beautiful piece of wood. Looks like it's got some
pegs.
Yeah.
This is, tenon into the leg, acting as the apron and the drawer front.
Is that some
pegs.
Inlay there? A little string inlay?
Yep, all the way down.
Yeah.
Another contrasting.
Same thing on the side. A little bit of inlay.
I mean, this definitely looks like mahogany.
Yep.
Little breadboard here.
You have established cabinet makers building from the Hepplewhite sketchbook, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It shows how influential he really was and how popular his designs were, for sure. Because it'd be like, somebody coming to us and say, "Hey, can you do that for us?"
Oh God, don't say that.
Very little is known about Hepplewhite himself. Some established sources list no birth information. However, George Hepplewhite was born in 1727 in Ryton, County Durham, England. And according to some sources, he served his apprenticeship with Gillows in Lancaster. But the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography is skeptical about this. He was also a member of the London Society of Cabinet Makers. So Hepplewhite, he based himself in London, where he opened a shop and died in 1786. So, I mean, if the birth date's correct,
yeah,
he's
61.
Not a long life. I guess for that time it was, but yeah. I'm 59, so.
I wonder what religion he was, because, they were the main record keepers.
That's right.
You see, like, the Puritans, they got records going back to the 1500s of everybody.
That's right. And when I was looking for my own records, that was the place I found my first written record. Was when I found the church I was baptized in. They had my records there.
I called the place I got my knee surgery in like 2005. They're like, yeah, no, we don't have that. Just like on a computer somewhere. Like, come on.
Nobody saves anything except the church. It was funny too because they said, hang on just a second. And they came back to the phone. They didn't even put me on hold.
They're like, yeah, it's in the 1961 file cabinet.
Yeah. So he dies in 1786, and the business continued by his widow Alice. So she must have, needed to do this to survive. And in 1788, she has the wherewithal to publish a book with 300 of George's designs.
It's a lot of designs.
I mean, think about it. It's the precedent was set, I suppose, by Chippendale.
Mm-hmm.
Some 30 odd years earlier. So Alice is here thinking, man, I got to put some food on the table. George left me with a bunch of tools that I can't use. What am I going to do? She was quite the go-getter.
Stole Chippendale's idea.
Yeah. So 1788, she publishes the book, 300 Designs.
With an eerily similar title.
Yeah. Cabinet Maker and Upholsterer's Guide.
Which the Chippendale's shop was the Cabinet and Upholstery Warehouse.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about Alice.
Yeah, Alice to the moon.
I don't think I like her.
So, but she published another edition in 89 and a third in 1990.
Yeah, she's like a college textbook publisher.
Yes. It's not until a year after George's death that his designs start to receive recognition. Well, some have attempted to attribute the furniture design to his wife, Alice. There's no evidence that she was the original creative force behind the work beyond her publication of the reference guide after his death. So there's a movement
saying that she was the actual designer.
Yeah, she did all the work.
Possible.
Here we go. With contemporaries such as Thomas Chippendale producing pieces in a variety of styles, Hepplewhite's famed style is more easily identifiable. Hepplewhite produced designs that were slender, more curvilinear in shape, and well-balanced. There are some characteristics that hint at a Hepplewhite design, such as shorter, more curved chair arms, straight legs, shield-shaped chair backs, all without carving. That was an uncomfortable sentence. The design would receive ornamentation from paint and inlays used on the piece. I wouldn't have imagined that.
Yeah, because although they're not actual Hepplewhites, the Hepplewhite inspired stuff we saw was pretty heavily carved.
Mm-hmm. And the painting, I mean, unless some of those little details were painted on, like the black stripes and things like that.
Look, here's Mac again trying to correct some.
Yeah, of
designs of the day. What do you see wrong there? Once you change it to off, because that makes sense.
Yeah,
designs off the day.
Well, this book, George's, or I should say Alice's, influenced cabinet makers and furniture companies for several generations, which in turn influenced, people like, well, our predecessors, and then eventually people like us. So thanks to Alice, we're here today.
Yeah, you could say that.
All right, Hepplewhite's style often overlaps with that of British designer Thomas Sheraton, whose 1791 guidebook, like Hepplewhite's, documented popular furniture designs of the day. So Sheraton's sitting around in his shop. He sees what Chippendale's done. Well, that's early on in his life, probably.
He's saying, this bitch Alice Hepplewhite's over here.
Yeah. 78, 79, or I should say, what was it? It was 80. Yeah, no, it was 86. 88, 89, and 90. So the very next year after his third edition, Sheraton gets on his horse.
You want some of that Hepplewhite money?
The slightly older Hepplewhite style tends to be more ornate, with substantial carving and curvilinear shapes, as I already noted, in comparison to Sheraton's style. Considered city furniture, Hepplewhite was especially popular in early American states along the eastern seaboard, from New England to the Carolinas. And there's some sort of awkward sentence there where I must have cut and pasted. Oh, I see, woods used.
It's just your segue.
Yeah, woods used in Hepplewhite style pieces. So we're still talking about Hepplewhite. I don't know why I had that aside for Sheraton. We'll give him his due soon enough.
We're Team Sheraton.
We are Team Sheraton, yeah. So as Hepplewhite furniture is characterized by contrasting veneers and inlays depicting seashells or bellflowers, pieces often contain more than one type of wood. For the base, mahogany was most often the wood of choice, but satinwood and maple were also popular. So Hepplewhite's using mahogany. I don't know if I've ever really seen satinwood. Is it light like maple?
I think maybe that real yellow wood that we saw might have been satinwood. I think it has that sort of yellow color to it. Satinwood.
Yeah. Other woods include sycamore, which I've heard is very difficult to work with. Oh. Yeah. Got some interesting figure, that's for sure.
Yeah. Looks a little bit like a lace wood, but very yellow. There's also tawny satinwood. Satinwood and rosewood.
Well, that's a nice combination.
That's in stock, 1870s. $5,200. That's cheap.
I know. It's embarrassing, isn't it?
Couldn't make it for 4 times that. He's got a cameo in it with freaking painting, all gilded. Jeez. 1870s, that's what? That's Empire.
Yeah, probably late Empire, yeah. So Hepplewhite, he's using contrasting veneers, mahogany, did use some satinwood and maple as his base woods. He liked sycamore, tulip wood, birch, and rosewood. Because they like to use the local woods at hand. American versions of Hepplewhite's designs can be made of ash or pine as well. I wouldn't like to see that.
Been using pine since before it was cool.
Hepplewhite legs and feet. In contrast to the popular curving cabriole legs of the earlier styles, such as Queen Anne and Chippendale, Hepplewhite pieces usually have straight legs. They can be square or tapered. I really like the tapered leg. And often have reeded or fluted edges. That's what we were noting in the last couple of pictures. They were designed to imitate classical columns of Greek and Roman architecture. Some chairs and sofas have H stretchers, which are reinforcing pieces of wood that connect the legs to form the shape of an H. Yes, I didn't think I needed to add that in. But
classical columns. It's like the Doric on the outskirts of Hoboken. The
Doric building.
You might have heard of that apartment building. It's pretty exclusive.
Yeah, the Doric with the two big Doric columns.
Yeah, it's just different colored bricks.
Complementing the plain, straight legs of a chair or table, Hepplewhite-style feet are usually simple. They usually take the shape of a rectangular spade foot or a tapered arrow foot. Bracket feet, however, are more common on larger, heavier case pieces such as chests, desks, bookcases, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so those must have been spade feet that we were looking at in the, I think that was the first episode on the That was that the Seymour that had that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other characteristics of Hepplewhite stuff. His plain legs, simple feet, graceful, delicate appearance, especially light in comparison to Queen Anne and Chippendale styles. I didn't really get that, like, especially light, especially the chairs.
A little bit lighter, but not. I mean, like the carvings are, I don't know, maybe a little bit less.
I think the backs of the chairs, there's so much less material in the backs of the chairs. I think that's part of it. But the casework is the casework. I mean, I do like how it's sort of set up there on a little bit daintier legs. It kind of it lightens the appearance.
A little less Jacobean.
Yeah. Pieces are embellished with small carvings or painted designs. Again, we haven't really had any pictures of those, along with intricate inlaid patterns and veneers. Yes, we've seen that often in woods of contrasting colors, known as marquetry. Marquetry? What else we got here for Hepplewhite stuff? This is how we can identify Hepplewhite. Common decorative motifs include graceful swags, curling ribbons and feathers, classical urns and trees.
Yeah, we saw the feathers and urn on the chair drawing.
And again, it's reflecting the popularity of the neoclassical styles during this period. Hepplewhite introduced tambours into furniture design. We know them now, you'd see it in a roll top desk.
Yeah, everybody wants it. Nobody wants to pay for it.
Yeah. We can make it. Of course, you can buy it nowadays, depending on the species. But they had to do it all by hand. They'd cut narrow vertical strips and glue it to a heavy cloth like canvas. But the cool thing about doing it that way is you could really, match the grain. You could put it back together, so to speak.
Yep.
Where you don't get that in stuff that you would buy. I've always wanted to do that, like do a nice tambour where it was made by hand on the cloth.
With continuous grain. Yeah. I've seen some guys. I haven't seen the process of them making it, but seen the finished product.
Yeah. And I did note here, it's similar to the elements used on the later roll-top desk. They used it to, hide their writing supplies, cubby holes, and things like that. Because these pieces, when everything was closed up, it was neat. It's not like today's desk where you got your
junk everywhere.
When you closed up shop, everything was inside your desk. And of course, you had less stuff. There was no Post-its and all this other junk that we all have now, staplers. Hepplewhite pieces have simple geometric shapes. If it's curved, it's circular. The sofa and armchairs, they curve outward. And the seats have rounded fronts. If it's sheep. Chair backs are shaped like ovals or shields. And the shield back chair is probably the best known of all Hepplewhite styles. We've seen several examples of that.
Yeah, he's losing. That's where Hepplewhite loses me.
Yeah, we're not big fans of that shield, are we?
No.
He's credited with popularizing the sideboard and the short chest of drawers. All right. Cheers to Hepplewhite. Designs for these pieces typically feature serpentine or bow shaped. Oh, I've lost it now. Or bow-shaped fronts.
It's the lunch setting in.
Yes. These were new forms of furniture in his day, according to American Furniture by Jonathan L. Fairbanks.
Fairbanks.
That's a reader. You should pick that one up. It's a page turner.
American Furniture, 1620 to present.
Yeah. So
I'll get that on Audible for when I go to sleep.
When I go to bed. Let's take a look at the Hepplewhite sideboard. All right.
Yeah, it's a little bit more understated than some of the others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like a solid top, right? Or is it? Well, I don't know. It's hard to
maybe
tell.
Some veneer work on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a knot right there. Very simple legs.
Yeah.
Slight taper.
Just a slight taper on those.
Sort of like a round over kind of deal on the bottom.
Yep. Does have that bowed front that they were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Not sure how I feel about big drawer over little drawer.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially when on the sides it's reversed.
Right, and these are looks like the same height as this.
Yeah, you got your thin drawer over a door.
It's weird.
Yeah, Hepplewhite. I do like the shape of the top.
This must have been one of Alice's designs.
Right.
So I guess, technically this isn't a Hepplewhite.
Right, like not
he didn't
built by
build
Hepplewhite.
it. Yeah,
No, it's
I
one
guess
of
it's his
designs.
design. Yeah,
yeah. These are all Hepplewhite designs, and they're going to be interpretations too.
Right, because who's following it?
When
we go online and buy our plans to build all the stuff that we built.
Yeah, you can see the plans are kind of rudimentary. It's not like a set of measured drawings. It's a drawing, a picture.
Right, and this is I got in I won't say argument about this with my wife when we're talking about Nick Disbrow. She's like, "Oh, I wonder if any of his plans are." I'm like, they didn't have plans back then. They might have had shop drawings, but it's not like today where you can go buy the Wood Whisperer plans and it says, "All right, step 1, cut these boards to this size, and then blah blah blah." No, that you got
you got this
right. Okay, now build it.
Right, exactly.
Which is kind of what we do, except we're making the drawing too.
Right. So we do have the luxury of deconstructing it, but typically we design from the outside in, and then figure out how to. Then we build from the inside out. We redraw it from the inside out.
Yeah, I don't even do that. It's like, okay, this we'll call that 60 wide and 18 deep. We'll go from there.
Yeah, so that's a nice piece.
Yeah.
Hepplewhite style sideboard. Let's check this out.
I like that better.
Yeah. Much more rectangular, rectilinear. And I would not have picked that out as being a Hepplewhite.
No. See the inlays on the edges?
Yeah. Looks like little flowers or something there.
Yeah, or those little quarter fans or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Straight legs, little string inlay. More inlay here. I'd like to see the tools that they were using for all this veneer work, producing the veneers and doing all of this marquetry. I mean, I guess they had fret saws. I don't know.
Yeah, I tried, in Duncan Phyfe has a very famous toolbox, and I tried getting pictures of the contents of it. And you see a lot of saws and things like that, but nothing to display a full array of his tools.
Right. Yeah, it's a nice piece.
What do you think of that hardware that keeps appearing on this stuff? These big round.
Yeah, not my favorite.
No.
They kind of have an Asian look to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Chippendale was influenced heavily by Chinese furniture.
That's true.
So it could be bleeding over from that.
That's right. I mean, these guys didn't exist in a vacuum. Chippendale was wildly popular. His book.
And successful.
Yeah. So you know that these guys definitely had copies of Chippendale's book.
Yeah, it's like now everybody's a copycat.
And did this say by Seymour?
No, Hepplewhite Wardrobe. It said, I think.
Wow. Okay. It just says wardrobe.
Says wardrobe.
Yeah, so it's a Hepplewhite Wardrobe.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Hepplewhite Wardrobe. This is nice.
Yeah.
This reminds me a little bit of some of that later colonial stuff.
How do you like how the grain comes off the doors into the stiles and rails?
From the down here in these drawers, yeah.
And the panels,
yeah.
Look how it radiates out.
Yeah. Seen some nice raised panels. Almost like a sunburst effect. This is all quadruple book match up here, it looks like.
Yeah. So that's interesting. There must be veneers on the rails and stiles to get the grain going that direction, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're not seeing any like cathedral on these, so it's...
Looks like it's going sideways.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and look at the drawers.
Yeah, I mean, this got to be at least 36 inches wide, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Seeing bracket feet on this one, like sitting on a little pedestal of bracket feet.
Almost looks like a chest on chest or a cabinet on chest or something.
Yeah. Got some interesting like radius here. That's as big as it gets, but that or there's like a transitional molding here.
That's possible too. Yeah, I like that piece. I like the wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really...
Has some painted sort of frieze up here.
Yeah, yeah.
The little stubby crown.
Yeah, the top is a little small by today's standards, I would say, right?
Yeah, you throw like a 7-inch cove up there.
No.
I saw a tile guy that I know, local guy, posted some pictures of, doing backsplash in a kitchen, and like, I wanted to comment on it. Like, who designed this kitchen? It's like there's a single like 12-inch wide upper.
Oh no. And
then like an open corner with two L-shaped floating shelves, same depth as the thing, like tucked into this, like crammed in the corner, with another run of uppers. And there's like a 7-inch cove on it. It's just like this huge hat on this tiny little cabinet. This looks so bad.
Oh my God. And the thing is, the guy who put it up might have thought it looked ridiculous too, but the people go, I want all the storage I can. Can't you put something here? He's going to say, it's going to look silly up there by itself. No, I want it.
No, the sad part is I'm sure the person who designed the kitchen thought it looked great. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
And the client just along for the ride.
That kind of looks like an orphan up there.
They probably like it too.
That's reminiscent of the piece we made.
Yeah. Proportionally, for sure.
Yeah.
We split the doors into double panel with a mid style. But yeah, it's similar proportions and definitely some design cues there. With this transition thing going here, bracket feet. We have 3 doors down here, but
yeah, the piece we made is a little bit bigger probably.
Now this, contrary to a lot of what else we've seen, looks like it's overlay.
Yeah.
The top is definitely overlay because they're butt hinges.
You're right.
But these drawers look like they overlay the case.
Oh yeah, those doors fold back all the way probably.
Yeah, we have run into that a time or two. Maybe they do.
Maybe, yeah. Well, you never know.
Yeah, we might be seeing that piece pretty soon. Might be going up there to put the hardware on it.
About time. So we're still talking about George Hepplewhite. I have some notes here about later Hepplewhite styles. British furniture manufacturers began reviving Hepplewhite designs in the 1880s. So really not that long after his death. Though they're themselves antiques now, the construction is usually not as solid as that found in older pieces, nor is the decoration quite as finely detailed in these mass-produced reproductions.
Yeah, you start to see the Industrial Revolution rear its ugly head. Yeah.
It's a Hepplewhite knockoff that began right after he's in the grave. I mean,
not a Heppel right, it's a Heppel wrong.
Yeah. The Kittinger Furniture Company of Buffalo, New York became known for its faithful Hepplewhite repros in the 1920s and 30s. Made of high-quality woods, some of these pieces have become collectibles in their own right. Take care not to confuse these reproductions with older and more valuable period pieces.
Yeah, they're a period of their own.
Yeah. In a sense, Hepplewhite furniture has never gone out of style. Recognizable features such as the shield back, fluted legs, serpentine front remain standard in traditional furniture design. It's true. We've seen it in everything from nice custom work to, the crap you'll find at Macy's or something.
Yeah.
These pieces are often considered to be classics that easily fit in with a variety of decorating styles. Yeah, that's the one thing I've thought of as I've been, going through these pictures and stuff. You see all like the classic design cues and how they're implemented in today's junk furniture.
Yep.
And how they'll take a piece from here to a piece from there. They'll stick it together.
This kind of looks like something Grandma used to have, right? Could be yours. And we got free delivery.
All right. Next up is Thomas Sheraton. Now, so he's born 1751, dies 1806.
He was young.
Yeah. And he's about 25 years younger than Hepplewhite.
Mm-hmm.
So they are contemporaries, but sort of different generations. Sheraton's a furniture designer, one of the aforementioned big three English furniture makers of the 18th century. Don't forget Chippy Chippendale.
Tommy C.
Not
to be confused with Tommy G.
That's right. Sheraton gave his name to a style of furniture characterized by a feminine refinement of late Georgian styles and became the most powerful source of inspiration behind the furniture of the late 18th century. I read it time and time again that Sheraton's work was the most copied.
Really?
In a good way.
Right.
He wrote that book, and his influence was the broadest. The other guys, even though that we're talking about American furniture, these still are native Brits. Sheraton was born in Stockton-on-Tees, County Durham, England.
Another Durham County boy.
Yeah. Nowadays, there's a pub named after him there.
That's a high honor.
Yeah, that's right. One of the leaders and preachers of the Stockton Baptist Church, and he preached also during his travels.
I always assumed Baptist was an American invention.
Yeah, was it? I don't know. No, because the Anabaptists, they were an early Protestant religion. It was they were the people that just believed you had to be baptized as an adult. I think
a second time.
Well, yeah, that it didn't count because you were too young. That's why. You didn't need to be baptized as a baby.
Yeah, because what the hell did you know?
You're right. That was one of their points.
You got to shed that original sin, though. You got to get that off your back.
Well, Sheraton was actually apprenticed to a local cabinet maker and worked as a journeyman until he moved to London in 1790 at the age of 39.
Yeah, wow, 15 years before he died.
Right, so that's old at that time. I mean, he was a journeyman cabinet maker working for somebody else until he's 39, till like 3/4 of his life is gone.
Maybe it wasn't that good.
Well, apparently he had something to say.
Up until that point.
Yeah, that's right. There he set up as professional consultant and teacher, teaching perspective, architecture, and cabinet design for craftsmen. I'm sensing some otherworldly intervention coming up here.
Could be.
It is not known how he gained either the knowledge or the reputation which enabled him to do this, but he appears to have been moderately successful.
It's like the pyramids.
Yeah. How does he go from just working for somebody to becoming a consultant and a teacher?
It sounds like smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an old fake it till you make it scenario.
Well, listen, just 1 year later, he publishes the first of 4 volumes of the Cabinet Makers and Upholsterers Drawing Book. Just about stealing
Yeah.
the title.
Because it was Cabinet Maker and Upholsterer's
Guide,
yeah.
And also, that was also published in 1791.
I'm telling you, he was looking at Alice Hepplewhite. He's like, this bitch, Hepplewhite died. Now she's putting out all these drawings. I got to ride this train, make some of this money.
Well, listen to this. At least 600 cabinet makers and joiners subscribed to his book, and it was immediately widely influential over a large part of the country.
They probably thought it was a Hepplewhite book.
Yeah.
They're like, this is the 3rd Hepplewhite release. Gotta get it. Or the 4th.
Well, it's a weird story because during this time, he doesn't even have his own workshop. And it's believed that he never even made any of the pieces shown in his book.
He's a content creator. All he did was create the content.
And look at the justice. He becomes the biggest one of them all.
Yeah.
Like Hepplewhite, no pieces of furniture have ever been traced to, Sheraton directly. So a piece of furniture described as being by Sheraton really means it's his design and he's not the maker of the piece.
I mean, we joke, but regardless of, I'm sure they were his designs. I mean, that's almost harder than actually building something. For me, at least,
Yeah.
The design part is the hard part. The making it's the easy part. So, I mean, that's even more impressive to be able to design all these things and
Oh yeah, I mean it's another skill set, and he obviously had something there to give, because it was kind of an instant success.
Yeah, 600 people. That's pretty good.
And you know his name certainly lives on. In 1803, he published the Cabinet Dictionary. A compendium of instructions on the techniques of cabinet and chair making.
What?
Then a year before his death in 1805, he published the first volume of The Cabinet Maker, Upholsterer, and General Artist Encyclopedia.
Wow.
I tell you, there was nobody giving them any artistic help on the titles of these books.
Yeah.
So Sheraton's name's associated with the styles of furniture fashionable in the 1790s and early 19th century. That's the early 1800s. Many of the designs are based on classical architecture, knowledge of which was an essential part of a designer's technical education. Yeah, think about that nowadays. Not all the drawings are of his own design. He acknowledged that some of them came from works in progress in the workshops of practicing cabinet makers, but he was a superb draftsman, and he set his name on the style of the era.
That must have come from an English website. The way draftsman is spelled.
Oh yeah,
Draftsman.
Yeah. That's right.
That's like how they would spell like draft, beer.
So let's check out a Sheraton style sideboard.
He was such a popular designer, they named the hotel after him.
That's right. A chain.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is
Looking
nice.
like walnut.
It's really nice.
Got a little reverse cathedral over here.
Mm-hmm.
I like this little alcove in the top.
You can see the Sheraton, see his legs compared to because that's the same detail in the last Sheraton examples, where they kind of have that sort of, how would you describe that? Bell-shaped or?
Yeah, like a turned taper.
Yeah. It's got reeds, but it's got that sort of that bulb of a.
Yeah, up at the top.
Yeah.
And all these, little urn kind of things in between.
Yeah.
See again here for short grain on these rails.
Yeah.
So it must be veneer.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to get that's really nice.
Are these drawers?
Probably, yeah.
Looks very shallow on this one. Maybe this is just fixed and these are drawers, but they might even be doors.
I was going to say, I'd love to get a look at those doors, like open up the door and look at the work where there's that short grain veneer on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if, I know there's places where you can go and see stuff like this. I wonder if there's places where you can go and actually touch them. Probably not.
Yeah. People are jerks. They'd ruin it.
We'll just tell them who we are when we show up. Say,
yeah, we're Greene Street Joinery.
Come on in. We got the white gloves ready.
Yeah, no vacuum press there.
Yeah, wow. I mean, look at this. This piece of veneer is insane.
I know. And to think it's, 200-year-old piece of furniture, and more.
These almost look like little owls.
Yeah, you're right.
I think maybe these are those bell flowers that they're talking about. We got the same top detail here. Thin top's definitely a characteristic of this period. This top's got to be, I don't know what this overall thing is, but that's got to be a half inch up there.
Yeah. A little rounded at the bottom of the foot, right?
Yeah. I think this with tapered square legs.
That'd do it for you.
Maybe nix these things.
Yeah, you could see that anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I like how these are sitting up on the legs. I like that proportion.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get a chance to submit something like that.
Well, I drew that console that ended up getting nixed, and it got revised to that walnut thing with the green paint. Remember that?
Yeah.
The first thing I drew was like a low slung console that had the legs all the way up to the top like this, sitting on the four corners. And they were, I think, round tapered.
Nice.
Or no, they were octagons.
Oh. Tapered octagons.
Yeah, and then there was some kind of detail with the top. I think the top was sitting up, and then it had that big undercut chamfer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about it like anybody who's listening knows what the hell I'm talking about.
They're just privy to our own conversations. Yep. Now this is completely different.
Yeah. This looks like it's like in a hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I wouldn't like it for my home, but I like the circular veneer, and then there's
with the keyhole at the top.
Yeah, you can see how they have like the mitered,
veneer here, yeah. Horizontal grain here.
Mm-hmm.
String inlay.
But this one's got like that serpentine kind of front.
There we go. It's a nice high-res picture.
That must be the spade foot.
Yeah.
A little bit thicker top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe 3/4.
Simpler.
Looks like heavy gloss on the top.
Yeah.
That or it's really dusty.
But I mean, executing that S curve with the drawers and the doors.
Yeah, you've got 2 concave doors and a convex drawer.
I mean, I wonder
See
how
that
they
long cut there.
made those curves. I mean, I wonder what the core of those curved parts is.
Must be coopered, stave core with veneer. And then I guess they must have positive and negative forms for the pressing. And I mean, these are labor intensive things to build with, rudimentary tools. Rudimentary compared to what we have now.
Right. Even, I mean, in a simple shop like ours, we have so many more advantages.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the pulls in the center of the door. I mean, that's another nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, compare back to that first one just for a quick second. I mean, it doesn't even look like it comes from the same guy, does it?
No. I much prefer this first one, though.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that one looks almost like a sewing cabinet or something.
Yeah, this is a little too Queen Anne for me.
Yeah.
With this, I don't know, this big, tall center section and the geometry of it.
Yeah, that's sweet. Look like little robots.
Yeah. 4 of them.
So we're going to go to the third of our big 3, Duncan Phyfe.
Scotsman.
Yeah, yeah. And he's even younger, born in 1768. So when did the other guys die?
18.
Was it in the 1800s?
I know that Sheraton was.
Right. I think Hepplewhite died in the 1700s, didn't he?
1788, I think he died. 1786, Hepplewhite died.
Yeah.
Sheraton, 1806, he died.
All right. So, Duncan Phyfe.
He was 20 when Hepplewhite died, Duncan Phyfe.
Scottish immigrant, comes to the U.S. with his family in 1784. So he's just under 20. He's, 16?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's 2 years before Hepplewhite died.
Yeah. He apprenticed in a cabinet maker's shop in Albany, New York, before moving to New York City in the early 1800s. Phyfe had established a furniture making shop that catered to wealthy customers along the eastern seaboard. Nice going, Duncan.
Yeah, smart move.
Today, the name Duncan Phyfe is almost synonymous with high craftsmanship and refined style. So why is Phyfe's furniture so celebrated? He didn't invent a new furniture style, but he displayed great skill in blending elements of popular and fashionable European styles into finely made furniture for America. All right, so unlike Sheraton and Hepplewhite, he's really not forging any new paths, but
right.
As I said before, Phyfe's been known to carry out those designs by the Hepplewhite and Sheraton to the highest order. He created the best furniture that those guys put on paper.
Right.
Phyfe actually built it. Phyfe successfully used a factory approach to making furniture. So his works weren't specifically carved or made by him alone. His workshop, at its height, hired over 100 skilled craftsmen who made a wide range of furniture. The Duncan Phyfe inventory included armchairs and side chairs, dining room sets, side tables, card tables, sofas, large cabinets, and secretaries. So he's a go-getter.
Yeah.
I mean, all these guys, obviously the people who history has remembered, they're the people who, made the biggest mark, left the biggest footprints. Phyfe had a careful eye towards style refinement, dedicated to high-quality materials. To ensure the best finished product, he established quality craftsmanship in all steps of the process in his factory. So he was like a very hands-on executive chef.
Yeah.
Going through, making sure everything was just right. He carefully aged his woods before using them. Not eliminate, but less prone to cracking. And it's his excellence in making the furniture as well as his specific style that made him so popular.
Mr. Duncan Phyfe.
Yeah, so his execution as well as his interpretation of the styles of the day. But one thing Phyfe didn't do is label his furniture. So to identify authentic pieces, you need to know what to look for. Let's check out a Phyfe armchair.
Not what I was expecting.
I've seen that style of chair. Had no idea it was a Duncan Phyfe.
Yeah, it seems. Oh man.
Well, you see, he did all kinds of stuff, as we just read. And this reminds me, I'm not an expert on it by any means, but it does call to mind the Empire period, because that's sort of like Egyptian there.
Yeah.
I think that's some of the influences that start coming through.
Little like brass claw feet.
Yes. And those the half circle on the half circle.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre. Looks like a half lap right here.
Yeah.
And this is integral, goes all the way up to the back of the chair.
And we see the caning come back again.
Yeah, these are all like fluted apron on the, or reeded on the seat.
It's quite a mishmash of the things we've been reading about.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I hate this chair. It is ugly.
It kind of it looks like two
looks like
designs
folk
stuck
art
together, doesn't it?
I hate this stretcher right here. It like you got these square with taper and then this turn thing here.
And then the reeded thing, transition pieces right there.
Yeah, and then what's up with this carving here?
Yeah. It's really odd, isn't it?
Yeah, and what's up with these little feet? This guy was a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Back. We had some technical difficulties here. And we don't know if we lost the first hour of the show, but
if we did, you're only getting 10 minutes.
Oh God. So we're looking at the Phyfe armchair.
Yeah, we were sort of laughing at it because it's kind of a goofy looking thing.
Yeah.
And listen to this. The Duncan Phyfe style. In a general sense, Duncan Phyfe furniture is known for its balance, harmony, and proportion. All elements of a piece work together to create a pleasing, refined whole. Now that chair, come on.
Yeah, it's a little iffy.
Individual furniture objects don't look too clunky or awkward or have elements that seem out of place. This is exactly the opposite of what our opinion is.
Yeah, it's the antithesis, that chair.
Yeah. Phyfe was a successful businessman who adopted elements of new styles as they became fashionable. So there isn't one cohesive style that always shows in a Phyfe-piece. Rather, there are certain elements that reflect his quality of manufacture and refined eye. Phyfe tended to make pieces from high-grade hardwoods like mahogany or rosewood.
Mm.
Yeah, so details might be done in precious metals like ivory, oh geez, or gilt brass, which is brass coated in a thin layer of gold. Surfaces might be decorated with veneers or different colored and patterned hardwoods. And veneers are paper. I'm not going to say that. Some pieces.
What's a veneer?
Some pieces were upholstered in durable material like damask, which had decorative patterns woven into its surface. Man, I was on such a roll.
Freaking computer.
Yeah. Here's a little thing that interested me, that Duncan Phyfe is interred or buried at Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn.
Mm.
Yeah, so I've driven past Greenwood Cemetery many, many times.
I hope they buried that chair with them.
Yeah. On October 15th of 1922, the Metropolitan Museum of Art opened Furniture from the Workshop of Duncan Phyfe, and it was the first exhibition ever held in an art museum on the work of a single cabinet maker. 90 years later, and for only the second time in history, a major retrospective of this iconic American craftsman and his furniture was again on view from the 20th of December in 2011 to May 6, 2012, under the title Duncan Phyfe, Master Cabinet Maker in New York. Phyfe's furniture can be admired in the White House Green Room, Edgewater, I'm not sure where that is, Roper House, and especially at Milford Plantation, owned by the Classical American Homes Preservation Trust. His furniture appears in many museums and private collections as well.
Well,
there's even more. Sideboard attributed to Phyfe.
We got a fun fact.
Yeah. Let's check out this sideboard. Maybe he redeems himself. Oh.
Yeah, not bad.
You could see it's definitely similar, but it's moving away from that federal style that we've been viewing.
Yeah.
Really, he's younger. Still has that
contrasting wood,
yeah,
that
the inlay, string inlay, the brasses are oval, the curved front, the tapered legs. Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Fun fact, one of the largest roadside attractions in the U.S. is a giant chair located in Thomasville, North Carolina. And I saw a picture of this. It's it's like one of those things from the 60s, but I guess this was erected in 1950. There's a monument erected in 1950, and the plaque located on its pedestal reads as follows: "This chair is an exemplar and inspiration for future generations to emulate and perpetuate the achievements of our time-honored furniture designers and craftsmen." The original chair was the creation of the famous American designer Duncan Phyfe. And that chair was actually recreated in 1959. Man, this is a long section.
Yeah. Well, that's the last.
Yeah. So the fourth member, they didn't make it into the big three, were John and Thomas Seymour. Now this is is similar to that piece we saw earlier.
Yeah, these guys
had it going on.
Yeah, no, this is nice. It also is just a better picture, but
but I really like their interpretation.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Now this is probably the same maple that's, maybe burned a little bit. The figure on it. Really, really nice. The detail around the mirror.
Yeah.
Nightstand. Wow.
This one's not doing it for me as much.
I wonder what that top is. Some kind of stone,
yeah.
right?
It almost looks like an old, 1940s radio.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a small square chest on little pencil legs.
Yeah.
It's a little odd.
A little bit. Seems a little impractical. But I guess as a nightstand.
There it is. It's in the picture with that nightstand.
I think, I'd prefer if these had wood tops.
Mm-hmm.
This is cool. This looks very Georgian. Or, federal. Sorry.
Yeah. Fed, George.
Whatever.
Martha.
Sheraton. Same thing.
Sideboard. Wow, that looks almost like the Phyfe piece.
Yeah, and there was a Hepplewhite, I think, or a Sheraton that had the same, basically, basic layout with this big.
With that last Phyfe piece that we kind of liked more than, much more than the chair, of course.
It was like a simpler version of this.
Yeah,
with just stringing, really. And it had like a two-tone thing with dark in the center and light on the sides.
Look at the grain going from the door to the drawer on the sides.
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
Nice little, like a binding on the top.
Again, the fairly substantial pieces of furniture raised up on legs, on small, thin legs. And there's a tambour desk.
This pediment, I do not like that, but
I'm not crazy about that pediment.
With this big finial on the top.
I don't know where you sit I guess we think of it differently.
It's got, look.
Does that pull out? Oh, yeah, that's a hinged top. Look at that.
It's a flipper flopper. And this drops down with a little keyhole.
That is cool. In the picture, it says, do not touch. These guys were craftsmen, the Seymours. You can definitely see their style in interpreting.
They need some more credit.
Yeah, so this last bit I remember is a little anecdote. A card table that was bought by Claire Wegman Beckman for $25 proved to be a good investment. It was sold at Sotheby's yesterday for $541,500. Wow. I'm flying, Miss Wegman Beckman, 71 years old, said after the Sotheby's annual Important American Furniture Auction, folk art sale. The retired teacher bought the table more than 30 years ago at a garage sale and displayed it in her home in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Wow.
I've always been a garage sale enthusiast, she says, but I never expected to get this much for anything. Israel Sack Inc., a New York dealer of fine American antiques, bought the table, which was one of 6 made by the Boston furniture maker John Seymour and Son.
I think he used Israel Sack as some sort of source material for the early American.
Huh. The meticulously constructed table has its original finish and considered to be in good condition.
Wow. Very interesting. I think John and Thomas Seymour, to me, are the standouts of they at least what we saw.
But maybe, like you said, it's the design work that what they weren't able to set themselves apart with. They were interpreters, but so was Duncan Phyfe.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't like that Phyfe stuff.
It's funny how time remembers things, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's kind of clear to us that we like the Seymour's stuff, and their work just pops compared to the other guys. It just jumps off the screen compared to anything we saw from everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, the Sheraton stuff was I liked, but I like the Seymour stuff a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even his interpretations of the Hepplewhite and Sheraton work.
I mean, this thing is great.
Yeah. It's like they take the best parts of it.
Yeah, well, before my computer, spits out and deletes this part of the podcast too, we better sign off for the week.
Yeah. It's been a joy.
Yeah. Go get yourself some vesting finish. Seems to be the way we end every podcast now.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something we use, I wouldn't say on a daily basis because we don't finish every day, but it's basically the only finish we use for, doing the clear finish.
Yeah, I mean, we use the vesting single coat and the LED. It's the only thing that we've used since October.
Yeah.
Early October. So we've been using it a lot.
I tell you, I missed having that LED on the last thing we did.
Yeah. Matching up with the old, Rubio that we've used, previously for some rework on a job. But yeah.
So when's this episode air? It's 2022 by this time, isn't it?
Yeah, be the first Friday in 2022.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Enjoy the new year.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week for the last episode of the federal period.
Yeah.
Episode 16, 17, 16. Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next week. Where's my fucking mouse?